it's Gwyn and welcome back to the channel. Following our last video where we took a look at just a few of the vinyl releases of Beatles live recordings that occupy that grey market space, I thought I'd revisit another set of recordings of Beatles live material, the Star Club recordings. Well, the recordings were instigated by Ted King-Size Taylor, who asked Adrian Barber to manage the recording process of a number of shows, including Taylor's own band, the Dominoes, Cliff Bennett and the Rebel Rousers, and of course, the Beatles. The recordings took place over several sessions in late December 1962, and Barber recorded the performances on something like this, which is a Grundig reel-to-reel tape recorder and was done via a handheld microphone. Pretty primitive by today's standards, but what was recorded is history. The Beatles were on the cusp of success and straddling the eras between being a raw rocking club band and the polished pop phenomenon that they were just about to become. It would, however, be another 15 years before these performances saw the light of day, and not before legal challenges by the Beatles themselves tried to prevent their release. But released they were, and in many versions. These versions represent a variety of song sequencing and are riddled with factual inaccuracies surrounding both song titles and writing credits. This album in particular, which I've been listening to for the most part of this week, even name checks Stuart Sutcliffe, despite him having tragically died on April the 10th earlier in that year. Undeniably, as this album correctly attests, these are historic sessions. So what do we have on here? Well, let's call it a mixed bag. Mixed in terms of song selection, their originals and covers, rock and roll and standards, recording quality, technical playing and vocal performances are all mixed, so you get the picture. But what you can't fault is the energy, and perhaps this was fueled by a mixture of booze and prellies, but the set delivers song after song at breakneck speed, with the occasional lull in proceedings delivered by a ballad by Paul. Now, it has been a while since I listened to this album, and while it disappoints in many ways, there is now a new factor which massively impacts how I listen to this album and how I appreciate it. Peter Jackson has bought the original tapes, and while he owns the tapes and can do what he wants with them, it's the Beatles that own the rights to publish them. But Jackson has the Mal technology, capable of transforming these recordings from their mono, muddied and distorted form to something altogether more listenable, bringing clarity and balance, or so we can hope. Jackson's Mal system can't prevent George hitting bum notes on Roll Over Beethoven and John singing the wrong lyrics, but neither should it. The raw essence of these songs should remain, but, as mentioned, stripping out the clutter and bringing clarity and balance will elevate this source material, and we can only hope that they see an official release sometime in the not too distant future. Included on here are the good, badish and the ugly. So let me run through some of the songs on this album. Firstly, the good. I'm going to Sit Right Down and Cry Over You is the opening track on this album, and it is fabulous. I Saw Her Standing There is also another superb track. And on Roll Over Beethoven, despite some fluff notes, it is a supercharged version. Hippie Hippie Shake, an old Cavern favourite, gets a great rocking version on here, as does Sweet Little 16 with a very solid, rock-solid Ringo performance. Then there's Lend Me Your Comb and Twist and Shout. If I could just get a really clean version of this, it would be euphoric. It's a superb version. Taste of Honey, which has all-round solid vocal performances, and then we also have as great tracks Besame Mucho, Kansas City and Ain't Nothing Shaking But the Leaves on a Tree, which is a real bang crash wallop affair. To Know Her Is to Love Her is possibly the best ballad in this set of songs. Also a great track is Little Queenie. George is absolutely rocking it and delivers a cracking solo. Ask Me Why is a really tight performance and very close to the original studio version. Talking About You is another track which is superb, and I'd love to hear a really good clear version of John's vocal on this, which is a great rock number. Shimmy Shake is Ringo driving along a really superb version of this song, and also, from my personal point of view, Long Tall Sally, which goes as fast as any track I've heard the Beatles play. It is super fast and really exciting. Absolutely fabulous. So what about the badish? Well, these songs are okay, not too bad, not too great. They include, in my point of view, Your Feet's Too Big and also Mr. Moonlight. Whichever way I look at it, I can never warm to this song in any version. I'm sorry, that's just me. Also, there's Reminiscing, or as it's listed on this album, Can't Help It, Blue Angel. There's also Bebop-A-Lula, one of two songs sung by the Fasher brothers. This is Freddie Fasher, and it's an okay version, sung okay, but the highlight of it is George's guitar solo, which is actually very good. Then we have other middling tracks, which are Sheila and Red Sails in the Sunset. Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby. Well, this is a pretty clumsy version actually, and lacks the charm that is we're more familiar to on other versions, and it's got a very sloppy finish to the track too. Matchbox really fails for the same reasons, to be honest, as the previous song. So what about these ugly tracks then? Where Have You Been All My Life is awful. Falling in Love Again is a plodding, disinterested, trite, and is horrible in every way, and particularly the backing vocals. Hallelujah, I Love Her So is another song sung by one of the Fasher brothers, and it's dreadful. Then there's I Remember You. I wish I could forget it, but sadly I can't, and the evidence is on this album. It is horrific. But all in all, there is more good out on this album than I remembered, and the prospect of it being even better with better quality is a very exciting prospect. I hope it comes to pass. If and when these are released, though, is in the lap of the gods, but these are historically important performances and so deserve a complimentary treatment after all these years. So, to summarise, I've really enjoyed playing this album after what has been quite a few years, and I would encourage you to do so too. The album doesn't represent the full extent of the original tapes. I think there were 37 songs originally. This album only has 30 represented. But maybe the full set will get the proper treatment it so deserves. Anyway, if you get a chance to listen to the album, let me know what your thoughts are and put them in the comments below. Remember, by watching this video, you have exclusive access to our subscriber button. And if you can hit it, and if you enjoy our content, then that would be very much appreciated. Anyway, that's about all for now. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Until then, bye for now.